Hi, it's me. It's T. I'm back. This is a tea talk. I'll make it scroll across. Tea talk. Sometimes you just never know where to put these, which playlist, where we going, what we doing today. I've been wanting to do this. And part of it goes with Dodd Vlog, goes with what my mother and I both are going through as women over 50 in this world, people over 50 in this world. And but this one I'm going to personalize because it's mine, and it's something I've been struggling with. And when I say I'm struggling, I mean I've been struggling. Okay. So, yes, I did go through the most difficult bereavement of my mom-in-law, and we've talked about that, and there's a video about that if you want to learn more. Um, and I'm working through that, and my husband and his sister are working through that, and that's their mom, so I can't even imagine. Um, but still, we were close, and those bereavements, they leave a mark, and grieving takes time. And as I said, it's a process, right? So there we are with that. I continue on. What else do I continue on with? Here it is. Here it is. And how to put it, how to say it. It's not gonna come as a surprise to you if you're of a certain age. I think you're going to be like, yep, yep. So here it is. Oh my God, what do I do now? What do I do? Wait, who am I? Let's back this up a little bit. Like, what do I do? But wait, who am I? Who am I now that I'm not in my corporate role? Now that I'm not mothering a child, a young child. My child is fully grown now, flown the nest and made his own child, and it has his family too. So he's all right. And I have my two beautiful stepkids that have gone to college, and they're successful, and they're both on their journeys. So they're well. It's all is well with these babies. They're all well and beautiful and winning. They're winning at life because, boy, they just, all three of them are fighters and winners and try, and they're believers in themselves. And when they hit a speed bump, they just keep going. And I love that about all of them. I love it. It's magic. And so what I've been going through is that it kind of comes more late at night, sneaks in. You know what I mean? The one where you're laying in bed and you're like, oh my God, I'm almost 60. Oh my God, that leaves me how many more? Um, I am in the kitchen cooking. It's something where I'm away from work, I'm away from doing other things, and I'm just kind of, I have some music. I usually play music, and this is probably what triggers the whole thing. And of course, I'm playing my music from my day back in the 70s, and some music from now, and some from the 60s. I don't know. I listen to a diverse bunch of music, but some of the music takes me back, you know? And I grew up in Southern California. And yeah, we went to Malibu Beach, we went to Disneyland, we went to Hollywood and Los Angeles. I was born in Los Angeles. Um, and I had a good childhood, and I had fun. And I rode my bike every summer, all summer long. We had those 90 days, 3 months of no school, and I had my best friends, and we would ride our bikes, or we'd go to each other's houses and watch cartoons. We'd have sleepovers, or we'd go to Disneyland or Magic Mountain, or, hang out at the pool at my house. And it was just magic. And then I became an older teenager and had my first boyfriend, and there was that puppy love and all the magic that goes with that, and wondering what I was going to do with my life. Everything was magic when I was a little girl. I had all the magic, and I just thought it would stay with me. And people would always be like, oh, enjoy this because, when you're a grown up, you have to do grown up things. You'll have to do adulting. And I was like, what? Like, that seems so cool. You guys all seem so cool. I want to be a grown up. I want to be a grown up. Um, and now that I'm a grown up, I want to be barefoot again by my swimming pool and spending hours till my hair turns green and figuring out the most creative water aerobics and water ballet that I could come up with. Fancy. It was a good time, and there was just so much to be found and searched for and discovered. It was just like I said, I still remember in the summer not even opening my eyes yet, knowing the sun was out, knowing that I was going to get my bathing suit on and go get in the swimming pool before I had breakfast. And a smile would just come across my face because I was so happy. I was so happy that that day was there. And I was so excited that it was going to be a good day. Going to the pool, we were going to go to the beach, and I loved to body surf and hang out in the sand. I know, look at me. Sunscreen, people, sunscreen. That or a sunburn. Um, but man, I loved it. And oh, I loved going into Hollywood. I loved um, cruising down Van Nuys Boulevard. And see, my friend C will remember that quite well when we were teenagers in high school and all the things that we got up to. So much fun. And my other bestie, Lorelai, who we were little kids together from like second grade on, and we had just the best time getting into her mother's wigs and platforms and going to Thrifties, which was a little store where we could get ice cream, and we'd like dress up as members of Kiss, get the makeup, and I'd be Paul Stanley. Um, I'll have to ask Lorelai which one she was. I think she was the one that was the cat. And I'm sorry, I can't remember his name now. But I'll find out. I'll find out. Um, we would go and do crazy things like that. We would just pull stunts all the time. And then we'd go visit her dad, who lived in Santa Monica. So we would roller skate. And we'd roller skate on Santa Monica Pier, rolled, down the road, all over the place. I love skateboarding. I had a moped. I was just living. I would run. I would bike. I would swim. I would just be in it. And yeah, of course, I had my things and my fears, my kid fears, as they call it. The Indigo Girls have a song, Kid Fears. Um, but those were kid fears, and everything else beat that out. I had my cousins. Oh my God, I still love my cousins. We had so much fun together, you guys. The summers and our moms getting together, my aunt and my mom, and us all playing together and going to each other's houses and just taking that time and going on train rides to learn about the missions, because we all like did book reports to them for like school and stuff. Our moms made sure we did a learning journey, but also it was a lot of fun playing too. um there was just all of that, right? And that was crucial and critical and important, to who I am now. But with those days also were dreams. Dreams were woven into those days. I had so many dreams, and I listened to music every day and I sang every day. And I have now had times where I've gone 4 or 5 years without listening to music, really, without singing a single song, without even hearing my voice. And I loved to sing. I wanted to be a singer and I wanted to be an actress. That's what I wanted to do. And I did do some acting. I was with the local repertory theater in a couple of different towns that I lived in. Um, and I didn't have any training. I just went and auditioned, and just luckily for me, um, I must have that acting gene in me, just go thespian. And I love to do it. And I love music and I love to sing, and all those things are in there, but they're kind of stuck in there. And I'm kind of stuck in here. And I think I've come to something. I've come to something since last night. I think it's been laboring, it's been growing, it's been a seedling, it's been growing and growing, growing, and it's getting ready to be born. And that is that I can still do whatever the hell I want to do. I mean, what my bones will let me do. Okay, let's be realistic. But I can make my bones stronger. I can make my body stronger. I can make it healthier. There's a lot of things I can do to change where I am today. Um, as far as making sure my income is secure, that's still a tough one. And we'll be talking about that on my mother-daughter vlog a lot too, about having difficulties getting hired when you were a champ, you know? I have so many accolades and awards, and oh my God, and I just did amazing work and was, noticed for it and given raises and given new positions and asked to be part of teams. And I loved that. I loved that. I loved working with people. I still love working with people. I love customer care. Right now I'm a funeral arranger, a funeral celebrant, and an end of life doula. And I still adore working with people and adore being a funeral arranger and helping people in need who are bereaved. Let me help you do that. I'm right here. I'm always here for you. I work remotely, so you need me, call me. We can do a FaceTime or Zoom. We can do whatever. We'll get you through. We'll make sure this beautiful service happens. If someone needs me as a celebrant, I'm more than happy to do that. It doesn't end there, but the thing is that sadly right now it's not making the ends meet because I'm freelanced. So you know what that can be like, and the industry that I'm in, you know, sometimes there's a lot of work and sometimes there's not. And it isn't ghoulish, it's life. We have to stop looking at it as if it is ghoulish. Death is not ghoulish. Death is part of life. It's such as birth, such as death. And we need to stop Victorianizing all of this, really. And we need to do it soon. And I'm working on that too. You know that. That's just another tea talk about what is life, what is death, what is living, what is dying. Um, so all of these are beautiful and wonderful things that I've discovered that I have within me to give, and I want to. I wish they could work for me so that our family could survive on them and we could have a living and be secure, but I don't know if that's going to work or not. And just really nobody's fault. It's just kind of how the nature of the business is. Um, so I may find myself back, um, you know, doing work that I did before, which I said I loved, and I do. I love an end-to-end process. It's funny how I'm using both sides of my brain. It is strange. It is strange. But it's true. And I love the analytical part of me that looks for gaps in processes, I love that. I love to see, look at a big, big corporation, a big Fortune 100, 50, 10, whatever it is, and see how they're doing when they're selling their products and where things might be built up a bit better, what processes are working and which ones aren't. Definitely dealing with customer escalations, understanding what's happening, because again, you can find out more about what's going wrong by talking directly to your client, and making connections and friendships and building bridges with your clients so that they always want to stick with your company. There's all that I can do. I just got to get my toe in the door somewhere, somehow. And that's been frightening me. That's been scaring me. That's been making me cry in the kitchen quietly because I don't want my husband to see me crying because he's just lost his mother and I don't want to upset him. And he got me yesterday. He got me. He heard me. I don't know how he did because I was so quiet and he was back doing something else and I was just started to do ugly crying. I was listening to some song and it was taking me back and I was just sad about mom. I was sad about the work prospects. I was sad about aging. I was sad about being distant from family and sad about lots of things. And all of a sudden, he just walked right through the door and I just like melted into his arms and did the ugliest ugly cry. And whoa, if you ever seen me, you've seen me do the ugly cry, haven't you? I'm not, like my mom says, we're not pretty criers. We're not. Like a red bunny nose with just it's just not I don't do glamorous crying. So anyway, he held me and I just cried and cried and cried and just said, I'm just sad. I'm just lost. I'm just broken. I'm just crushed, and I told him I was sorry. He said, please don't, and please don't hide your tears thinking you're helping me. That doesn't help me, and I should know from my bereavement experience that it's okay to share your tears, and not try to protect someone. That's not right. What am I doing? Going back to my old ways of thinking that I'm protecting people. There's so much to learn on this journey, guys. So much. But anyway, getting back to the focus here is that I can still do things. I can still listen to music. I can still sing. I can still, do acting if that's what I want to do. I can still do community theater if I want to do that. I can still drive over to the beach and watch the sunset, not far from it. You know, um, I can still do very creative things like get on YouTube. Thank God there's YouTube. I've always been thrilled the minute YouTube ever like was born. I was like, ooh, I'm gonna be all about that. And I have many incarnations of myself here. Yes, I do. Um, and I will always come here to talk to you because I know that it's one of my favorite things, just like getting in a traffic jam used to be when I was working at corporate. And why did I like it? Because it was a time of day where I felt we were all equal. That probably sounds weird, but we were all stuck in our car. We were all about the same height. I know some people had nicer cars than I did, but anyway, I was still happy. I had my radio going and we were all there together, all doing the same thing, caught in traffic, all being human. And the second place I love to go is a cemetery or a graveyard, if it's that ancient, because they're places of art, they're places of memory and compassion and love and humanity and equality, mostly equality. And if I'm really down, that's one of the places I really love to go. And I take my camera and I take pictures of unique headstones and I read about the families there because there's stories to be read, stories to be heard and told. And I want to do more of that as well. I love that. And it's one of the places, death is the great equalizer. And then we all go. We all come here and we spend our time and we go to where we go. And everybody has their own beliefs about that, and that's brilliant. But it's a really precious place for me to be. So there's ways I can feed my soul during this time instead of just being in the living room and staring at, job postings over and over and over again. I need to, you know, grab 2 to 3 hours a day to work on that and then stop, not all night long. The minute I'm finished with this one job, go to this next thing because is breaking me. But at the same time, I need to do it wisely and really look at the roles that would be best for me, that I could get into the quickest, that I could bring something to the table, which I feel like There's quite a bit I could bring to a lot of tables. I just need to get seen and heard. And that's the tricky part sometimes because I do think that people do look at your CV or resume and they start looking at your history. And I've even kind of shortened my history because if I really put my whole history back, it would go a long, long ways. Which is cool though, because like I've worked at a dress shop, I've been a bartender, I've been a cocktail waitress, I've worked at a townhouse council. I've worked in mediation during the oil spill. I was a hairdresser. Um, there's just so many different things that I've done. You wouldn't believe it. Oh, I used to do singing telegrams. I was Madam X when I was very close. I was over 300 pounds. I guess I was closer to 400, and I would do singing telegrams as Madam X. This was a long, long time ago, guys. I don't even know if I have any pictures. If I do, I'll see if I can find them. Show you. But my shtick was, people would know that I was a big girl, and it was oftentimes would be the wives of the husbands who were, having like their retirement parties or whatever it was. And one of the funniest ones ever was a gentleman. He was actually in the funeral industry. He was a funeral director and he was retiring. And his wife wanted me to come in as Marilyn Monroe. And it was also his birthday. And so I was going to do Happy Birthday, Mr. President, which I did do. Um, and I came in this dress with my hair and, you know, I literally pulled his chair out because it was like on a vinyl floor. I dragged him out to the middle and put some balloons around his wrists, you know, and sat down on his knee there, all 400 pounds of me, poor guy, and saying, happy birthday, Mr. President. And they were all dying. He was laughing till he was crying, and it was a blast. But I mean, that's not on my CV or resume, just so you know. So don't get worried and be like, T, please, if that's on there, to take it off. What I've done is I've kept like the most recent things that I've done, that are relevant to now, that would be relevant to the work that I'm looking for. Um, and I've had help on that. I've gone to people who that's what they do, because that's what you do. If you have a little tiny bit of money left over, I think that's what you do. Like find the people who do really great CVs and resumes and let them interview you and help you with that. And they're beautiful, they're great. They speak the truth. But something's not working. And, word does get out and people are talking. And, there is something in the back of people's minds, even people that might be of the same age, that they're kind of putting those to the side and picking up the younger ones because, oh, well, they'll be maybe healthier, more energetic, just out of university, there's all these things, but and uh, I wish I didn't have to say it because I feel like it doesn't need to be said. Because I've actually hired people, I've managed people and teams before myself, and I always look for people who know what I don't know. So it wouldn't matter to me the age. It would matter to me your experience. What can you do? What do you know how to do? How can you take this really tricky situation and make it work? How can you turn something around? How can you get a customer who's really not happy and get them turned around? How can you get a broken tool fixed? How can you work with the IT team who speaks a completely different language than the sales team and get a tool that works for the sales team that the IT team has helped build, and help translate in between and get everybody together and feel happy about it and positive that we're one great big team doing this? How to make a library so that if you are a salesperson or a customer care person, you can find a point and click video so that on your lunch break you can learn something by yourself and rewind it and figure it out again. Take some notes. Oh, I've got that memorized now. I've seen it done, so you can pick up this knowledge very easily. And you don't have to sit through an entire lecture, that's going to take up all this time. You can pick and choose what you need. And there's just so much. There's so much there. Thank you for letting me have this interview. I really appreciate it. Thanks for your time today. Bye-bye and take care. Um, Anyway, and thank you to the people who have put my name forward and done the best they could. And I know it's not you. And I know it is the businesses. They are very careful about hiring right now. There's lots of places that have hiring freezes. The economy in the UK and the US, just so you know, I'm a dual national, so I'm born in the US, but I did migrate over to the UK, and I have a passport for each country, so I can work in both places. Um, but both economies are struggling, and so I'm aware of that too. So, just all of that to say, still get up, still try, still remember who you are and where you came from and who you want to be. You're not lost. You're just distracted. You've just gone around the block a couple streets over too far. Back up, loop around, and that's okay because you got experience over there too. There's nothing like a little bit of street smarts, right? That's good to have too. Um, it's okay. It's okay to grow, change, have tips. And it's okay. When I was an almost 400-pound girl, I was like, damn it, I'm going to be the best big girl I can be then. Damn it, that's what I'm going to do. And when I was a single mother, I was like, well, then I'm going to learn how to do better. This isn't good enough. I need to learn better. And I'm even learning now as an adult. Now that my son is 40, I'm still learning about being a better parent. There's always room to learn, and there's always space and time to learn, and how to be a helpful family member, how to be a good partner, how to laugh again, how to play again. It's time to play a little bit again, T. And you over there, I see you. I see you. Go dig through your makeup drawer if that's what you want to do, or go put on your sandals or no sandals and go take a walk around outside and go stick your feet in the grass and see what that feels like. It might feel weird at first, but it's really nice. If you're near a beach, go get your feet in the sand and listen to the ocean. Listen to it talk. Watch for the moon to come out at night. Remember watching for the moon? Seeing the sunset and the moon when there was a full moon. It was kind of magical, and all the stars. I had a lot of magic in my mind about all that stuff. But it was all there. It's all in our little world here. And it's for us to take care of and love. And we're here to take care of and love, and that includes ourselves. And as they say on the airlines, if you don't put your oxygen on first and take care of yourself, you're going to faint and you're not going to be of help to anybody else who's sitting next to you. So get your oxygen mask on and help everybody else. You can do this. You can do this. I can do this. We can do this. Okay. This has been your tea talk it's been quite some time. We're in August now. Oh my gosh, it's August 7th as I speak to you. So here we go. It's my birth month. So here's to all the August babies. Go. And here's to Generation X. And here's to our boomers and zoomers and all arounders, everybody. We can do this. And especially to those over 50, stick with me. I'm not done yet. I'll walk with you. You know, I said the buddy system. Let's do it. All right. All right. Take care of yourselves, and we'll talk again very soon. Bye for now.